Hi, I'm Julian from iExcel with Julian, and in this video, I would like to discuss probability of independent events. In this video, we will define probability, we will go over 2 questions on the board, 3 questions in iExcel, and then we'll come back here for a recap of today's lesson. If you do happen to enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. That helps out a ton and pushes these educational kinds of videos out to a wider audience. Now, let's get started defining probability.
Probability is how likely something is to happen or is true. The higher the percentage, the more likely it will happen. Probabilities can be written as either fractions or percentages. For probability displayed as a fraction, it is the outcome we have or the outcome we want over the total of possible outcomes. To calculate the probability of independent events, we need to multiply the probability of the first event by the probability of the second event. Now, let's go to the board for some more examples.
Welcome to the board. I have 2 questions for you, but before we begin, I just want to remind you that I will be underlining the important information as well as the question. Let's get started with the first. Okay, so the question asks us, what is the probability of rolling a 3 and then a 6 on a 6-sided die? So since 6 is our total number of outcomes, we're going to put that on the bottom. And since 3 is only one of the outcomes on the 6-sided die, I'm going to put 1 in the numerator. Now, for the 6 is also only one of the outcomes on the 6-sided die. I'm going to put 1 in the numerator and 6 again in the denominator. Now, to find the probability of independent events, what we need to do is multiply the 2 fractions together. So when we multiply them together, we get 1 out of 36. Okay, so that's 1 chance of getting a 3 and then a 6 per 36 rolls. Now that is not definite. In those 36 rolls, we might not get that at all. We might get it exactly on the probability as we want, or we might get it more than that. But we do know that the more times we repeat the experiment, the closer it will get to the expected outcome. We call this the law of large numbers. Now, to the second. What is the probability of a coin, so that's important, landing on heads and then tails? Okay, so for this one, there are 2 possible outcomes, heads or tails. So we're going to put 2 in the denominator. Now, since heads is only one of the outcomes, we're going to put 1 in the numerator. The same goes for tails. Tails is one of the outcomes, and there are 2 total outcomes, so we're going to put 2 in the denominator and 1 in the numerator. Now again, to find the probability of independent events, we're going to multiply these numbers together. So, half times a half is a quarter, which is also equal to 25% if you would like to write that as a percentage. Now, to iExcel for some more examples. Welcome to iExcel. Our first question asks us, you roll a 6-sided die 2 times. What is the probability of rolling a 1 and then rolling a 4? Write your answer as a fraction or a whole number. Okay, so we know that 6 is the total number of possible outcomes, and on, well, a 6-sided die, we have only 1, which means there's 1 outcome for rolling a 1 on a 6-sided die. So we're going to put 1 on the numerator. Now for rolling a 4. Again, there's still 6 total outcomes, and on the 6-sided die, there is 1 4. So there's 1 outcome of rolling a 4, so we're going to put 1 in the numerator. Now we're going to multiply these 2 together, and we get 1 out of 36. Okay, you flip a coin twice. What's the probability of getting tails and then getting tails again? What's your answer as a percentage? Okay, so we're flipping our coin twice, and there are two possible outcomes, heads or tails. And tails is one of those outcomes, so I'm going to put that in our numerator. Since we also want to get tails the second time, I'm also have the same probability of getting tails, so I'm going to put half. Now when we multiply these two together, we get 1 out of 4, which is equal to 25%. Okay, now to our final question. What's the probability of landing on a number greater than 5 and then landing on 6? Okay, so greater than 5, so we have 3 numbers greater than 5, we have 6, 7, and we also have 8. Okay, so we have 3 outcomes over 4 total outcomes. Now, we want the outcomes for landing on a 6. So still, there's 4 possible outcomes total, and we just want to land on the 6, which is only one of the 4 outcomes. So we're going to put 1 on the numerator. Now, again, we're going to multiply these two fractions together, and we get 3 out of 16. So 3 out of 16 is our answer, and there we go. Now, to the recap. Welcome to the recap. In this video, we learned that to find the probability of independent events, all you have to do is multiply the probability of the first event by the probability of the second event. We also defined probability. We did 2 questions on the board and 3 questions in IXL. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!
Click to the video on the left for my previous video on probability, and click to the video on the right for some math facts.